Welcome back, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Got another episode of College Ball with J Dog lined up for you. Before we get into it, I want y'all to hit that like button, comment, hit the subscribe button. When you hit the bell, go up. Make sure you hit the all. When you click the bell, hit all. That'll help you get my videos. Sorry for it being a late one. I've had a long day, fussy baby, work, everything else. I'm still bringing y'all the content. I apologize about it being late. Got a couple things to go over today. Number one, 24 days till kickoff, y'all. It's so close. Every day, just a little closer, a little closer. They got 17 days till week 0. So after Saturday, we got 2 more Saturdays till football, 3 till the big football day. I know y'all are ready. I'm ready. Not everybody's quite as fanatical as I am. I've been waiting on it since we lost to Ohio State, but I guess they can say since Ohio State beat Notre Dame for the title. Got a couple things to go over today. Got the Tennessee basketball conference schedule got released. Don't know if a lot of y'all are basketball fans. I'm a big basketball fan. I've been a fan since the Jerry Green, Buzz Peterson days, back before we was quite what we are now. Then we got Rodney Garner talking about the defensive line MVP so far through camp. I thought that was interesting. Do you know anything about Rodney Garner? He's not one to heap praise on somebody. So if he heaps praise on you, you're doing a damn good job. And then we got fall camp, day 6 notes we're going to go over. So y'all strap in, get your popcorn, get your chips, get your ice cream, get your cold beverage. Lock in with me here. Let's get into it. First things first, we'll get into the conference basketball schedule. Actually, first things first, I'd like for y'all to, if you want to, I started a Facebook page for my followers, even people that ain't followers. You ain't got to be a Tennessee fan. You can be a fan of anybody. Like I said, this page is going to be just straight football once the season gets here. Now it's a lot of Tennessee, I know that. Once the season gets here, we're going to do shows about the games for the week, all that good stuff. We'll still cover some Tennessee stuff, but it's going to be about all Power 4, basically. So stay tuned for that. Facebook page, College Ball with J Dog. Y'all join it. You ain't got to have no password, nothing. Invite your buddies. I don't care if they're Alabama fans, Florida fans. Invite them. It's a page for everybody. Go in there, talk a little junk, post stuff. Everybody can have discussions. So if you join that, I appreciate it too. This is another place for us to communicate, bounce video ideas off of y'all, all that good stuff. Now we'll get into Tennessee's conference basketball schedule. I mean, it's a grind, y'all. I mean, that's the best way to put it. You got Arkansas, Texas, Florida. Out there's a team that made it to the Elite 8. Arkansas made the Sweet 16. They should have made the Elite 8. You got Texas. They made the tournament. Florida, they're national champs. A&M, they made the tournament. Kentucky, Sweet 16. We got our one win against them in the Sweet 16. We play Kentucky twice. Alabama, they're a tournament team, top tournament team. They got them twice as well. Georgia, there's a tournament team. Auburn, there's a daggone Elite 8 or Final 4. Can't remember off the top of my head right now. Ole Miss, tournament team. Kentucky. Mississippi State, tournament team. LSU, they'll probably be improved this year. They was one of the worst teams in the conference last year. Oklahoma, tournament team. Vandy, don't see them being a tournament team. Could be wrong. Missouri, there's a tournament team. Alabama again. South Carolina was the worst in the conference. They'll probably be better this year. They went from being really good to not being good in 1 year. It's kind of how basketball can work now when you only got 12, 13 guys. And the portal now, it can kill a basketball team in one offseason. So that's a grind, y'all. Plus the out-of-conference schedule. We got 6 really good out-of-conference games against top-tier teams. It's a typical Rick Barnes schedule out of conference, and then conference play. I mean, it's a grind in itself. Kentucky's added a lot of guys. I expect them to be a top 10 team. Alabama will be a top 10 team. Auburn will probably be a top 10 team. Arkansas will at least be a top 15 team. You know, Kyle Perry recruits his ass off. Now, is he a great coach? I don't think so. But he gets so much talent. He still wins a lot of games. Oklahoma's decent, pretty good. I mean, the whole conference is good. Texas A&M. They did lose their coach, though. Texas A&M's coach left. Can't remember who they hired off the top of my head. But, I mean, SEC ball's going to be a grind this year, y'all. Tennessee's got a hell of a team. Just so you know, whenever football and basketball starts blending for them few weeks at the end of the season, I will go over both. And once football's over, we'll just carry right on into basketball. I say I'm a big college basketball fan, so we'll talk that too. If you're into college basketball, be on the lookout for that. When the season gets close, we'll cover that. Tennessee's got a daggone exhibition against Duke at Thompson-Bowling Arena, so if you want to get tickets for that, I'd start looking for them now because that thing's going to sell out. It don't count against our record. It's just an exhibition game. See where you're at. I like them. We played Mississippi State. We played – who did we play last year? Not Mississippi. Michigan State, sorry. Might have been Michigan State again last year. We lost last year. The year before we beat them. It's just a good thing to see where your team's at right before the season starts. Get you battle tested against a pretty good team. I like it. Next up, we're going to go over Rodney Garner, y'all. If Rodney Garner heaps praise on you, you're doing it right. Because Rodney Garner is not one to heap praise on nobody. He's an old school coach. He's going to ride your ass. He's going to get the best out of you. You ain't going to like him, but he's going to make you better. Takes a special type of player these days to want to come play for Rodney Garner. So all these 5 stars and stuff, all they've been told their whole life is how great they are. And they want a coach that's going to tell them that Rodney Garner's not that dude. So if you come play for Rodney Garner, you're a dog. You like hard coaching. I like that. He said the guy that sticks out is veteran defensive end Dominic Bailey. Dominic Bailey, he's one of those guys that stuck around. He played last year. He played good last year. He's one of those guys stuck around. Wasn't a really highly rated guy. He just stuck around, put the work in. Now he's playing. He's starting. Gardner said, I think right now if we had to vote on MVP of the front guys, I think Don Bailey would win it hands down. The kid has had an outstanding camp, run, pass, leadership. All those things, he really stands out a very positive way. And obviously, I think a lot of people know when I first got here, he stood out in another way, and it wasn't a good way. So, you know, kid has really earned everything that he's got. So, sorry. He's just a guy that stuck around, worked his ass off, y'all. It's the kind of guys you want on your team. I'm glad he stuck around. I'm glad he put the work in. Now he's reaping the benefits of it. It's always awesome to hear stories like that. Dominic Bell out here, he wasn't really in shape. He was overweight. He's put in work. Now he's a starter on one of the best defensive lines in the SEC. Bailey's one of multiple veteran presences on Tennessee's defensive line. And is the veteran presence at the strong side defensive end spot. A fifth-year senior, Bailey has played major snaps each of the last 3 seasons. He's totaled 25 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries during last season, and is poised for another big role in 2025. Like I say, he's one of those guys that come in, he wasn't really in shape. He's a low-rated guy, and he put the work in. That's a lot of guys should look at that. That's in high school and already in college. Sometimes it ain't always best to go take the easy way and transfer and start somewhere else. Sometimes it's best to stay, put the work in, work your ass off, and earn your spot. He could have transferred to a lower school or somewhere and played earlier and got told he was this and that, but instead he stayed, took hard coaching, and now he's reaping the benefits. Probably going to be a guy that gets drafted now. He's a blue collar, worked his tail off to get himself into position, and he's made himself a really good SEC lineman. And I'm really glad that we have him. I love his leadership. I love the way he's going about his business and his work ethic. That's kind of the culture just in general Heupel's built here. They've had a few bad eggs, but you're always going to. As long as they're not so cancerous, they bring the rest of the team down, you can usually survive with it. Tennessee is incredibly deep at the strong side defensive end position. The Vols, they turned their 2 most productive players up to spot from a season ago in Bailey and sorry, I got damn hiccups. And rising senior Tyree West. Tyree Weathersby is poised to push for more playing time in his 3rd collegiate season. And his 2nd fully healthy, playing on the defensive line as a true freshman in the SEC is difficult, but Marion Dye looks like a guy capable of playing as a true freshman. Marion Dye will get some playing time, y'all. Highly rated 4-star. I mean, he was top 50 guy. He was like 6'4", 265 in high school, so I'm sure he's up to probably 280, 285 at least by now. Athletic as hell. He may not get big snaps against teams like Georgia, Florida, Bama, teams like that, but against ETSU, New Mexico State, teams like that, he's going to get plenty of playing time. Be good reps, good experience going into next year for him. And, I mean, it's just Gordon. I mean, he could go out there and he could earn more reps during big games. You just never know. I know he's a freaking dog. It was a big win for us on the recruiting trail. I think he'll get plenty of snaps. Like I said, Rodney Garner likes to rotate 12, 13 guys on the defensive line, which is an embarrassment of riches. Not many teams can rotate that many guys. I mean, Georgia, maybe Bama, a couple teams like that, but we're one of very few that's got that many guys we can rotate on defensive line. And another thing that's testament to Dominic Bailey, a 3-star guy, and he's starting over guys that are 4 and 5 stars, y'all. Yeah, he's got a little more experience, but that shows you how hard this guy's worked to get his starting spot and keep it. Because he's got a lot of talented guys behind him. And for Gardner to still say that he's the freaking top guy from fall camp so far, that's a testament to Dom. Up next, we got our fall camp updates. It says, add Ricky Gibson to the list of guys not practicing. He wasn't practicing yesterday. The junior starter was not out there while we were present and might have been with some of the other rehabbing players working in the weight room. Without Gibson, the cornerback group was Light on Wednesday with just 5 players. Transfer Colton Hood, freshman Ty Redmond, and Trey Poteet. Redshirt freshman Marcus Gorey Jr., Colin Brazel. Colin Brazel is Chris Brazel's brother. He was a mid 3-star guy. Gibson joins fellow cornerback Jamal McCoy and top Leo Joshua Joseph as defensive players who are not currently practicing. I'm reading these for the first time with y'all. I do this every video. I just get on there, I screenshot the notes, then we come on here and talk about them together. I think all those guys that were just mentioned, besides Jamal McCoy's working back from ACL. I do think he'll be ready to play the first, maybe second game of the season, working back against ETSU a little bit, and then put him in the fire against Georgia third game. But the other guys, I think they're just out for precautionary reasons. They got a little tweak. They tweaked something a little bit, and they're just letting them rest a couple days because we know they're going to be starters. Their spots are cemented, so they're giving some young guys some reps, seeing what they got there, see who needs to be in the 2 deep, 3 deep. So don't panic over Gibson and Joshua Josephs being out. I think it's more precautionary than anything. Tennessee had one of its 3 projected starting wide receivers out there this morning, and it was Mike Matthews, who was in a red non-contact jersey. Like I said, it says Berlin State was not practicing for the second day and was stretching on the side while not in uniform. I think all these guys will be back ready to go for game 1. I think a lot of it's precautionary, same as I said on the defensive side of the ball. Braylon Staley is probably going to be our starter in the slot. Chris Brazel is yet to return to normal drills, but we were told he was doing some stuff in a helmet and shoulder pads prior to the open period of practice, so he continues to get closer to return. The plan all fall has been for Chris Brazel to come back next week. So if he don't come back next week, then there'll be a little something to panic about. But if he does, then all is well. Let's see. I think I got that bottom one on another slide. That way we can see it all. If not, no, I don't. So we'll pull that back up real quick. Sorry about that. Quarterback order remained Jake Merklinger, Joey Aguilar, George McIntyre. Merklinger was the sharpest and most consistent on this particular day. McIntyre ended the period with a nice deep ball. Overall, this is one of the cleanest routes on air periods we've seen in camp outside of Amari Jefferson drop. So the quarterbacks are getting in a groove, y'all. I told you early in camp that it was a little sloppy, and I told you it'd probably get more crisp as time went on. I told you there's nothing to panic about yet until if we got deeper into camp and it stayed that way, I'd have hit the panic button a little bit. But sounds like everybody's settling in. Things are getting more crisp, nothing to worry about. Merklinger being the first guy the last 2 days, I'm not reading much into that either. I wouldn't be surprised if the next practice Aguilar's the first guy. I'm still thinking Aguilar's starter, but if he's not, then Merklinger won the job, and I'm fine with that. I just want the best guy out there. But I am of the impression that Aguilar will be the guy. At receiver, Matthews was a standout, and Trey Weary and Tommy went in the third, had some good reps as well. It's good that Mike Matthews is standing out. He's going to be a top receiver, of course. The linebackers been a period working in defending the speed option off the edge. And William Inge was doing a lot of teaching between reps. Then his group worked in getting blockers and getting to the field. Inge was coaching up freshman Jaden Harmon after this rep. So linebackers, they're practicing the speed defending the speed option, whether you take the quarterback or running back. Each guy has a guy, and they're just practicing getting off blocks and making a play. I'm telling you, our linebackers, a lot of people's not talking about it, but our linebackers are going to be probably the best they've been under Heupel this year. And they was damn good last year until Peely got hurt. But we got more depth this year, more talent. I think our linebackers are really going to be a strong point on this defense. The tone was set from the onset by head coach himself, Josh Heupel. He broke the team down at midfield after stretching and could be heard yelling, "This is the only day we got. Take advantage of it." Heupel's locked in, y'all. I bet he had his hat on backwards. If you know, you know. When Heupel has the backwards hat on, there's a different energy at practice. The offensive line was working in groups. The first team looked to be from left to right: Lance Hurd, Wendell Moy, Sam Pendleton, Jesse Perry, and David Sanders. So Sam Pendleton's been doing a lot of snapping, y'all. I thought he was going to be a starter at right guard. It's looking like he could take the center job, and right guard could be Umarov or Jesse Perry. I personally think it's still going to be Cider White at center and Pendleton at right guard, but I've been wrong before. The routes on air session was once again a good one. This is great progress just in terms of the sloppiness we saw over the weekend in the period. The past 2 days have been pretty solid. The quarterback rotation flipped back to Joey Aguilar first and Jake Merklinger second today, with freshman George McIntyre repping third. See what I mean about these reports? The other guy said it was Merklinger and then Aguilar. But this guy said it was Aguilar and then Merklinger. So which one was it? Guess we'll never know. That's why some of these guys I don't know if they're watching the same practice, y'all. Literally on the last guy said it was Merklinger and Aguilar, and then this guy said it was Aguilar, then Merklinger. I personally probably think it was Aguilar and then Merklinger because Merklinger got first reps yesterday. So usually they've been flipping them back and forth every day. So I'm just going to say it's probably Aguilar. Mike Matthews seemed pretty motivated this morning and looked strong. He made a couple of nice catches and did a good job catching the ball away from his body or high pointing the football in the air. Mike Matthews is going to be a dog this year, y'all. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. He's that kind of talent. He's literally a 5-star. He's behind Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith. And you know them too. Ryan Williams was 17 years old all last year, if you didn't hear. And Jeremiah Smith is probably the best freshman receiver I've seen. The only drop I seen while the media was present was Amari Jefferson over the middle. There were some missed throws at times. There always will be in practice. No reason to freak out, but hardly any balls hitting the ground due to drops. Part of routes on air was coming off play action motion for the quarterbacks. Aguilar didn't sell it as much as the other two. So we worked on play action today. Sounds like everything was crisp. I think we got a few good quarterbacks, y'all. Just like I said, even if Aguilar does win the job, Merklinger probably gets playing time at some point. I mean, even if it's just a couple of series. Look at last year. Nico went out a couple times. We had to bring in Gaston Moore. Against Alabama, Gaston Moore comes straight in and bombed it and headed straight to Alabama. No receiver around. Aguilar didn't sell the play action as much as the other guys. Not sure what that means. I guess he didn't. put the ball in the running back's pocket enough. I don't know. Where Aguilar excelled on Wednesday was throwing it deep. What have I been telling y'all? The kid can sling the rock. And that's what we was missing last year. Somebody could throw the deep ball. Nico only hit 17% of them. This was the first time we actually seen the quarterbacks air it out some. The talk about Aguilar coming in was he throws the ball well down the field, 20-plus yards. He looked good doing it today. Of the 4 deep balls we saw him throw, 3 were completed. I got 75%. If we can hit 75% during the season, this offense is cooking, y'all. We're going back to 40-some points a game if we can hit 3 out of 4 deep balls during a game. Merklinger had a strong day. In our opinion, we only saw him throw 1 deep ball, and it was a great catch down the middle to Miles Kitzelman. He was quick and accurate for the most part on the intermediate throws today. Merklinger's consistency has been something of a note in fall camp to this point. Sounds like we got 2 pretty good quarterbacks, y'all. Nice to hear Miles Kitzelman making a good catch. Miles Kitzelman, I think Mike Matthews, Chris Brazel, and Miles Kitzelman's going to be our main guys this year in the offense as far as slinging the ball around. Walk-on Trey Weir continues to carry himself like a upperclassman who knows what's going on. He's been taking advantage of missed time from his fellow wideouts and is a guy who is not on scholarship that could be in line to play if the situation ever warranted. He made a really nice catch down the field today. It's going to take a few injuries for him to play. From the sound of it, I mean, he's a pretty athletic guy. And you can't count the walkouts. Can't count the walk-offs out, y'all. I mean, we've seen plenty of walk-ons come through. On Routes on Air, it was a more entertaining one today. We watched 2 full periods instead of our initial one. Tennessee's quarterbacks were starting to throw the ball down the field more. They threw a ton of intermediate passes, 10 to 20 yards, while also taking a few deep shots at the end of the open period. So they got to see a little more practice today. Usually they see about 25, 30 minutes of a 2-hour practice. So like I said, anytime I read these, you take them with a grain of salt. Even if they say, oh, this group struggled. Well, they only seen 30 minutes. So that group could have got together the rest of practice. And if you see them talk about how great it was, it could have got worse as practice went on. It's just something fun to talk about. Give us a little dose of football every day. Kind of gives you something. Kind of gives you a little barometer on where your team's at. Sounds like a lot of things are clicking, y'all. I mean, from these reports, I know probably a bunch of sunshine pumping from our reporters. But I've also seen them talk about how terrible we are for years whenever we wasn't good. So it was an overall productive day. There are a few drops, but mostly from players well down the depth chart. There were some more incompletions, but some of that is the nature of the length of the passes. Like they said, Aguilar went 3 for 4. I'll take that on throws over 20 yards every time. Here are my unofficial competition numbers for the day. Merklinger 11 of 13. Joey Aguilar was 13 of 16. George McIntyre was 9 for 12. So they said Aguilar threw 4 deep balls. Merklinger threw 1 that they seen. So the numbers are pretty similar there. I think really it's going to come down to some scrimmages, obviously, but it's going to come down to who throws the deep ball better and who takes care of the ball better. And I think we'll know a little more after the first scrimmage, which should be coming up soon. Merklinger was stellar on most of the intermediate stuff. Consistent throws right in the stride, including some good ones to Mike Matthews. Redshirt freshman was just 2 for 4 on deep balls, so he threw 4 too. The other guy said he only seen 1. Murray Jefferson had a bad drop on a ball down the seam. But on the reverse side, Merklinger underthrew Radarius Jackson. The freshman receiver made the catch on routes on air, but it was unlikely to be a catch in the game. So, Murray Jefferson, he was the guy they said flashed yesterday. Just because he had one drop today don't mean he wasn't flashing out there again today. Our receivers are young, y'all, but they're very talented. I think it's the most talented receiving group we've had since Heupel's been here. I think they're going to surprise some people as long as they stay healthy. The offense is going to be humming, I think. And we've made some changes on offense because them teams are playing, as Sports Talk Jay says, they play an umbrella defense. They've been sitting back 8 to 10 yards on us, making us beat them in the short to intermediate passes. So we're working in some wrinkles to still get explosives when they do that. And if anybody can come up with it, I would say it'd be Heupel. Heupel's never gave me a reason to doubt him. I mean, he's got 30 wins in the last 3 years. Last time we done that was 96 to 98. So Aguilar's a little more inconsistent on the intermediate passing, but it was easy to see why people speak highly of his deep ball. He completed 2 or 3 attempts. I saw somebody said 3 or 4. A little bit of contradiction in these things, but hey, I think Ethan Davis ran his route down the seam wrong on one incompletion, so they're saying that his one incompletion wasn't even on him. At least the coach was barking at Davis after the play. Aguilar also threw a beautiful deep ball to Travis Smith Jr. right in stride. That's what the offense was missing last year. I know I sound like a broken record, y'all. But that's always missing last year on offense was somebody that could throw the deep ball. So if Aguilar's hitting those and he's not turning the ball over a lot, it's his job. I mean, that's literally one thing Nico could not do last year was hit the deep ball. And it sounds like Aguilar's right on the damn money with it. So I'm excited to see it. I'm calling us against Syracuse, the orange on orange crime game. Which shade of orange commits the biggest crimes? Hopefully it's us. Noted what appeared to be first team offensive line working together Wednesday. Lance Irwin, Demoy, William Satterwhite, Jesse Perry, and David Sanders. See, they're saying Satterwhite was the center here, and earlier dude said the Sam Pendleton was. So maybe tomorrow or the next practice. I don't know if they have practice tomorrow. They do get days off in between. Maybe tomorrow they'll be a little more consistent. Offensive line coach Glenn Ellerby raved about Perry Tuesday. That was still a surprise to see him in that group. Perry was a guy that wasn't that highly rated, but we beat out Clemson for him. Like I said, I do look at stars, but if we're getting a 3-star and beating out Clemson and Georgia, Alabama, teams like that for him, I'm going to be more excited about him than a 4-star if we're beating out Rutgers and Michigan State for him. You know what I mean? And another thing, just quick while I'm thinking about it, we got the number 5 quarterback in the 27 class supposed to be visiting this fall. Heupel usually hones in on his guy and he goes and gets him. I mean, it happens every year. Merklinger was his guy. Nico was his guy. McIntyre was his guy. Faison Brandon was his guy, and he's landed all of them. We didn't even really talk to any other quarterbacks. Went straight after them, got them in the boat, had them peer recruit. With Josh Joseph sideline, Caleb Herring, Emmanuel Okoye, Mike Bethea, Kellen Lindstrom, and Jordan Ross worked at Leo. Boo Carter, Jalen McMurray, William Wright worked at the star spot. Felt notable that McMurray was working a star during the open portion of practice, even with Gibson sideline. So basically, McMurray's going to be playing at the star regardless with Gibson out, or it's just that Gibson, they know Gibson's going to be back and they don't want to move Murray over there for a day and then put Gibson right back there. But who's going to start at star? I mean, that's a given. He's either going to start. I could see him playing some different spots this year, and he's going to get some offensive reps. I'm sure they're not ever going to see him on offense because they're not going to want them to see anything to talk about for other teams to know about what Boo's going to be doing on offense. Lastly, Aegis Farouk was getting a good bit of the run at safety beside Andre Turrentine in portions of practice open to the media. All right, so if you don't know, we got a safety battle going on for strong safety. Turrentine has the damn free safety lockdown. Strong safety will either be Idris Farouk or Caleb Beasley. Both are talented guys. I know Idris Farouk, he's a hard hitter. Come down, lay the wood. Not sure how his ball skills are. I think Caleb Beasley's more of a ball hawk type. Play good coverage. So just according to which one we need last year. They're replacing Will Brooks. Will Brooks was a walk-on, but man, he is a dog, man. He came up with big interceptions last year. He had one against Alabama to end the game. He had one, I want to say, against Florida, too, that helped win the game. Last year, whenever fall camp was going on, I was reading Will Brooks was going to start as safety as a walk-on. We had all these scholarship guys. I was thinking, man, our safety's toast. But no, Will Brooks was a player, y'all. We're going to miss him this year. We've got more talented now. Or the guys that's fundamentally sound, we'll see. I think this defense takes a step even better than they were last year. We had a top 10 defense last year. I could see us being top 7, top 6 defense this year if things go the way it goes planned. A lot of people think we're going to be worse because we lost James Pierce and Keenan Pili. I think our defensive line is going to be just as good even without Pierce. Pierce is a talented player. He made he's getting double teamed, all that last year. But Josh Joseph is a dog too. So is Caleb Herring. So is Jordan Ross. So are all the other guys. We lost Omar Norman Lott too. Like I said, we're still 12-13 deep on the defensive line. And linebackers deeper this year and more talented. Last year when we lost Pili, we got picked on. Teams started throwing to the tight ends over the middle because they knew we couldn't cover them. This year, we got speed at linebacker. We got talent. We got size. We got physicalness. I think this defense will be better than last year's. Got all of our damn secondary back besides Will Brooks. On a Tennessee defense, that's probably the best pass defense we've had since early 2000s, maybe. I mean, every year it seems like Tennessee corners get torched. And last year they didn't. I mean, the worst game we had was against Ohio State. And I mean, they got a freaking embarrassment of Rich as a quarterback. I mean, a receiver. If their quarterback's on, I mean, it's hard to do anything about it. That's the show for today. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Sorry it's a late one. I tried to get them up earlier than this. Just had a day. Baby wasn't feeling good. She's been whiny. Finally got her down. Come to record for y'all. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe on your way out the door. And as always, go Vols, y'all.